I've been married for 10 years. I'm 32 years old and fell in love with my wife, who is 31 years old, in college. Things have gone well so far. We got married when we were very young, and it felt like a great love story. We've been through a lot together, but I doubt very often that our tie is stronger than it is. Now, things are being changed very quickly. In the past year, we've told each other things that have hurt our relationship a lot. I was sexually abused as a child by several people at different ages. I hid this from many people for many years, which caused me to hold on to a lot of pain that would eventually lower my emotional intelligence. I have this on the list. About 5 or 6 years ago, I told my wife about one of the events. Then, about 11 months ago, I told her the rest. I hid it from everyone because it made me feel so bad. Going to therapy has really helped me understand that it wasn't my fault at all. I'm sorry it took me so long to start therapy, but I'm doing my best. What was my fault was that I sometimes watched adult stuff that no one knew about. It was supposed to be secret, but I also didn't tell my wife about it. I was stupid to think that it would bother anyone. I just had a lot of problems with trust and privacy that I never talked about or admitted. I first saw adult material when I was very young, and at some points it became too much for me to handle. Everything that was adult was there when I was abused. I always pushed it away, but it would come back to me whenever I felt alone. My wife and I didn't talk about adult things very often, but I told a small, stupid lie at the start of our relationship. I think things might have been different if I hadn't lied. We could have even talked about how she felt about adult stuff, but we didn't. Although I've always been pretty honest, I felt like I had to lie at the time for some reason I didn't fully understand. I just thought her religion was rude and scared that she would judge me because of it. I would not have done that if I could go back, but I can't. That lie came up more than once, and I couldn't figure out how to tell the truth, so I shut it down. Many things led me to finally tell her the truth. I found out that adult material can be seen as cheating, and I could no longer lie about the little lie. I took full blame for what I did, and I feel bad that I lied to her. Along with what I told my wife, she also told me some things. She told me that she almost didn't get married to me because she still liked her ex. I wasn't the first choice. For more than 10 years, she didn't tell me that. Because her mother and I are both Jehovah's Witnesses, she put religious pressure on her to marry me. That was some of what I knew at the time, but I didn't know that she wanted to marry me because she was scared and lonely. That really hurt me. Following these events, we became very close. Things turned out badly about 5 to 6 months ago. She told me she needed space because she was hurt, which makes sense. What hurt her the most wasn't the adult material, but the lying and the covering up of that lie. I gave her some room, but now it's so much bigger. Over and over, she keeps pushing me away, and I'm about to lose it. The gap is getting bigger. She's back in college and spending most of her time at parties and bars instead of seeing me. Her school, her friends, and her school clubs are more important to her than seeing me or even trying to speak any of my love languages. I've been working while she's been at school. I also teach, cook, clean, and take care of our home. I also go out of my way to speak her love languages and make her feel loved. The bond only goes one way. I've been so there for her, but I don't feel any love from her. She never wants to talk about her problems, which makes it tiring, and I often feel like I'm being lied to. Even though she had told me before that she was in love with me, she told me yesterday that she never felt that way. The in love part wasn't reached, but she has always thought I'm a great guy. I always thought I loved her more than she loved me because she told me more about being second choice and the stress she was under when we were going to get married. My heart is hurting. Our relationship is at its worst, and we're not gelling. She has been told about both people who are in couples treatment. The second one she turned down, but the first one she may have agreed to. She says that many of these problems are her own, and that I'm a great person, even though I make mistakes. She hasn't tried at all, and she has told me over and over that I deserve so much more. Things shouldn't be going this way. We both deserve to be happy. I don't know what to do, but I think we're going to get a divorce soon. I don't even know why I'm writing this. Maybe I just want some help. I need help badly. Edit or add. She broke up with me. I have lost. I'm really sorry, OP. This is hard. For such a long time, there has been a lot of lying in the relationship. It makes sense that she would be mad about the lies, but that's no reason to cheat on you. It's annoying when you're the only one working on something. She was already out the door and in bed with someone else, so it looks like she didn't want to work on it. Update after a year. Finally turned in. I finally turned in my pre-air form almost a year after D-Day. Before it happened to me, I would never have thought about making up, but after it did, some of that changed. I adored my partner a great deal. I mean, we pretty much grew up together. The affair did break me, though. When I learned that, I was so mad that I couldn't feel anything but anger, sadness, and more. I even had a short moment when I thought about killing myself. The worst day of my life was that first day, and I lost it with her. For the first time ever, I paced the room and yelled at her. I couldn't believe it. She seemed really sorry, and the person I had loved so much for a year just sat there and cried as I broke down. I asked that they end their relationship. She finally did what I asked, but only for a week or two before she did it again, because she said I wasn't loving or supporting her. When we briefly talked about getting a divorce, it was over. But we still lived together, even though we were living apart for about 6 months. He was still around, I knew. Yet, she still says it wasn't a relationship, even though she planned to move in with him after 6 months. Something about it just doesn't make sense. They talked about how she was hurting herself because she made a mistake and felt like she had to accept that mistake as her new life and that she didn't deserve me. I had a really hard time during those 6 months. So much that it was hard for me to do easy things like get a divorce. I understand it's not very hard, but I was really stressed out and it was really hard for me. I only tried to stay alive. She broke up with the guy because she moved out. I've used the year to get back to being happy and loving myself. I've had some luck and was even put up with a friend of a friend. The girl loves and cares about me. For the past month and a half, my ex has been trying to get me back. She probably wants me back because she sees me happy with someone else. I see my ex-girlfriend once a week to trade my dog. I told her straight out that I had dated a few times before I found a great girl. Also, very open and honest with my new girlfriend. She wanted me to be happy, but she was sad. I had been thinking about getting a divorce for months and slowly filled out the forms. The last things I needed to do to file were done. My ex never really cared about me because now she's crying and wants me back. It's been so hard for me because I feel bad about what I did, but it's too late. Some people might think it's wrong or illogical, but I've felt sorry for my ex. I know how hard things are for her, and all I want is for her to be happy. I couldn't get over her romance and how badly it hurt me. He is the only thing I see when I look at her. I'm proud of myself for having the guts to leave a marriage that had become very unhealthy. I didn't want any of that, but she ignored my rules and treated me like she didn't care. She had many chances to stop, but she didn't. Now that the papers are in, she is nearly pleading with me to change my mind. It's a terrible situation. This weekend was very painful, especially after I told my ex that. I put in. She cried and cried, but I had to pick myself. That hurt a lot to me because I feel terrible when I see other people in pain. Given all the bad things I've had to go through in the past year, I'm thankful to have met someone new who loves and cares about me. So many good things about her, and she leads with kindness and respect. Thank you. I deserve to be happy, and I may have found it, but I'm going to take it easy. Let's see what people in the neighborhood say. In the first response, it was said that she doesn't feel bad about what she did to you, but about what she lost. She didn't want the new guy back until she learned he wasn't what she thought you were. Just in case, she didn't really love and care about you. She hurt herself, not you. It's impossible to find the right one if you're still with the wrong one. Thank God you moved on from that one. Have fun. Where did it go? Asks someone else. She didn't mess up. She made choices, and over she decided to cheat on you. You can be sad about the breakup, but don't feel sorry for her. The OP responds, "Thanks for your answer. She definitely made a lot of bad choices. I only care about the person, and I'm sad that we are no longer together. It took up most of my adult life. She has dealt with problems in the past that she never brought up in our relationship, which ended badly. Now that she knows what she did, she feels bad about it. It makes me sad to see. Even though I'm sad, I'm so thankful that my new girlfriend was set up for me. I feel cared for, loved, heard, seen, and everything else because she is so nice to me. It's wonderful to feel valued. It's true what you said. I found out last Friday that my boyfriend of 6 years was cheating on me with a coworker. I caught my 27-year-old ex-boyfriend cheating on me with a coworker when I was 25 years old. He was asleep when I went to get my charger for my phone. His phone got messed up, and I saw a name I knew he was texting. I looked into it and found that he lied when he said he worked the night shift that Thursday and went to her place instead. I was worried about him after a few drinks, so I asked when he got there safely. I looked up where he was and couldn't find him. There was a time when we did this together, and he wasn't reacting, but to be honest, I didn't think much of it. I just felt weird about it. Then it was Friday. I find this. They talked on the phone for about 4,000 times. On Friday, they sent hearts, winky faces, and comments about how dirty her glasses were. She said they were dirty because they were rolling around on them, and he replied with a winky face and a heart, also talking trash to me. That's how far I read before I woke him up and told him I was done. He denied it over and over, and then he called her like she was going to tell him something. When I asked her about the texts, she didn't say anything. I think he wanted to show me the text, but wouldn't let me read it on my own, just a "here, look," while I scroll really quickly kind of thing. I put my stuff away and left. He didn't call me on Saturday. Then, on Sunday, he sends me a long message saying he's sorry and that he went to her place but nothing happened. He went for an hour and a half before his night shift because her boyfriend died last year. Nice, huh? He also lost his best friend 5 years ago. In the same month that he lost his best friend, I also lost mine. I was there for him through all of his ups and downs. Anyway, it looks like they got together over their losses. Also, on Saturday, she told me she was sorry in a Facebook post. She bonded with him by telling him a pretty lame sob story about how she wasn't ready for a relationship and how nice it was to talk to someone who gets her. There was no feeling involved, just a hug. That's why her glasses were so filthy. I have no faith in it at all. It's clear that Moore used 4,000 texts to talk to a girl behind my back. It's clear that he told her to send me that message. Then he tells me he deleted her for good. But when he showed me their chat from Friday to Sunday, there were about 300 more messages. I also saw that he sent her copies of the message she sent me. The lies keep coming out. He tells me and everyone else that he's telling the truth over and over again. But I don't believe it's totally true. It's clear that there's more to that truth. I gave this man 6 years of my life, took care of him, supported him, and paid for most of his crap so he could get ahead in life. I was going to sign yesterday for us to move into a house on Monday. I'm glad I found out on Friday that he was cheating on me because then I didn't waste my time or money on him. He has been unfaithful before, but this will be the last time. Now he's going to try to make everyone hate me and play the victim, which is what egotistical jerks do. Oh, thanks for listening to my rant. The community has something to say. The first one says, she's lying to him for sure. He's likely trying to fix things now because you've helped him so much. He's well aware of how badly he's behaved. Now block them both and leave that place of living as soon as possible. Best of luck, girl. Yes, she's sitting in for him, says the next person. I've seen witches like her who lie before. They lie so that the person they're seeing now won't get mad and they can keep going. He is not telling the truth at all. He texted, "We was rolling around on them winky face," and she said, "Hug got them dirty." Oh, that does sound like a hug, a long hug. They must believe you are not smart. You should block her and him, and anyone else who wants to get involved should also be blocked. Oh, they're both guilty here, and he looks like a fool for lying to you and everyone else, like the other person said. They must think you're stupid. They're joking. You're more than just a pretty face. That was a good time, since you didn't sign those forms. While 6 years is a long time, it wasn't the end of the world.